The Legend of Mare-Do-Well by JD2K. Chapter 7. Game Master coughed as he tried to move, only to realize he was pinned under the new stranger's hooves. How dare you! Do you even know who I am? Mare-Do-Well didn't even budge. She was looking everywhere for this strange pony's presence, ever since she lost the trail after reaching the outskirts of Sweet Apple Acres and the Crusaders' clubhouse. Since then, it was a mad chase all around Ponyville, hoping to find clues. Eventually, she felt her presence once more, and found her with Applejack back at Sweet Apple Acres. Before Mare-Do-Well could interrogate her as to the whereabouts of the Cutie Mark Crusaders, she advanced with the farm pony along with her lead. Not giving up, she eventually received a jolt to her back that led her to a field close to Rainbow Dash's cloud home, where the Pegasus stood there with the gold unicorn. Again, they both disappeared under the thick yellow smoke before the vigilante could catch her. Finally, as the sun began to set, Mare-Do-Well found the pony once more with Rarity this time. But again, she was too late to jump out. Having failed at capturing her, she decided it was time for her to return to the library and wait for the stranger there, as he was certain to strike at Twilight Sparkle and Fluttershy there. That was, of course, when she received a different combo. It felt like it, she thought about the cakes. She quickly made her way to the current location as Sugar Cube Corner was being rebuilt after Spike's greed-induced growth and rampage. It was also that same incident that caused her room to be destroyed and currently stay in Twilight's basement until it was finally reconstructed. Hopefully, she'll have a much larger hidden room being constructed, according to the cake's wishes, so she stayed at the library in the meantime. When she arrived at Sugar Cube Corner, Mrs. Cake began to have labor pains. Even after working herself to the point of mental and physical exhaustion, she put customers above her own expecting foal. This night, however, was when the pains reached stronger levels and meant that the foal was soon being born. Mare-Do-Well immediately postponed her current investigation and referred to Pinkie Pie after getting out of her costume and hailed a taxi to take her to Mrs. and Mrs. Cake to the hospital on the Ponyville's outskirts. Once settled in, Pinkie left Mr. Cake to take care of his wife and returned to her mission. Once redressed in her outfit, Mare-Do-Well went back to the library 20 minutes to 1 and found it empty. She was too late again. This time, however, she decided to stay put. No matter what, the stranger would come looking for her. For some reason, she was after the elements of harmony. Now she was the remaining one. Her patience was eventually rewarded when a cloud of smoke appeared inside her room. From within came the strange pony and an emotionally broken Spike, who pounded the ground beneath him in anguish. This was the chance she was waiting for all day. Without any other thought, she leapt right at the pony and tackled her to the ground. She pinned him down hard, and finally got some answers where her friends and the Crusaders were now. Pin my tail to the ground. It's Mare-Do-Well! Spike exclaimed, lucky to correct himself as he got up and hugged her. Thanks, Celestia, you're here! This monster got you too. Ah, you slime, you little reptile. How dare you refer to me as a monster? Scoffed Game Master. And besides, I never met this facet victim in all my life. Tell her to let me go! No, not until you release Twilight and the others, the small drake demanded, while Mare-Do-Well arched a brow at him, wondering at what just happened. Spike then explained everything to her, and she realized what became of her friends. Her head whipped forward as she faced Game Master again with a gaze that would put the stare to shame. With her new strength, she slammed her hose against the side of the floored unicorn with such force that all the books in the library fell out their cells by the shockwave. Game Master, however, was unnerved by this display. What do you care? If you want to say something to me, then say it. What's the matter? Too afraid to talk, you so-called hero? The unicorn responded angrily. The vigilante began to shake as she lowered her head. How could she explain, or even threaten her, to let her friends go? She can't break her no-talking rule, no matter how much she wanted. She was at a loss for words in more ways than one. Resourceful Spike, however, could tell what was going on, and spoke to her to get her attention. Miss Mare-Do-Well, do you know by any chance Horse code? He asked her. Mare-Do-Well's eyes immediately lit up. That's it! Morse code. She was a tad rusty at it, but she's thankful her father taught her how to use it when he went to the telegraph office to deliver some messages to the rock farmers across Equestria. It was the only way she could talk, and decided to use it. The purple-clad pony began to tap one of her hind hooves in rhythm, as Spike took out a scrolling quill and quickly translated her words. Young dragon, stop. Please be my interpreter so I can defeat this villain. Stop, Spike dictated. When he looked up and gave an affirmative nod. You count on me, Miss Mare-Do-Well. I'll do my best. Start when ready. Turning to face the game master again, she tapped her hooves and Spike translated.
Alright, you evil monster. Release the student of Celestia and the others you captured this instant!
The game master looked at her smugly. So forceful. I wonder if your spirit of competition is just as strong as your sense of justice. How about it? Care to play a game with them on the line? She looked at her vigilante friend with worry. She in turn made a lower gaze and started to tap again.
For the citizens of Ponyville and the innocents you have captured, I'll never lose! I'm ready.
Excellent! Let's get this started. Game Master chuckled as her smoke enveloped them both. Luckily, due to her eye covers, Mare-Do-Well didn't even need to keep her eyes closed, as she saw the library vanish and replace itself with neon light-strewn dimension the Game Master called home. Before Mare-Do-Well's alter ego could be impressed with how colorful this new world was, she realized Game Master vanished from beneath her grip. Looking around everywhere, she saw a spotlight switch on above her. Vigilante saw the gold unicorn lying on top of the area the spotlight focused on, while reclining against several gold and glittery pillows. Ho-hum, very well. The same as before, Mare-Do-Well of Game Master yawned. Choose the game and the rules. Make it interesting, hero. I want to be given a good challenge for once in my life. Mare-Do-Well gave a long pause, and from what Spike told her, this outsider was a spirit of pastime and contests. Maybe there was a way for her to work to her advantage. If Game Master could see under the mask, she would have seen the pony smirk. She began to tap.
You claim to be the best of the best when it comes to games and contests, do you?
Game Master laughed hotly. I don't claim, dear hero. I am the best.
My oh my. You play just one little game against an opponent and you crown yourself the queen. Obviously you pride yourself on beating little foals and lame nags.
The way the dragon child read and laughed aloud made it sound more like a sarcasm. That's what Mare-Do-Well wanted. Game Master got up from her pillows and gazed down at the vigilante with scorn. I can beat you in as many games as there are drops of water in the ocean. I will prove to you I can win against you in every single game you could think of. Super Zero.
Then it's settled. We'll have a competition of games. The only iron rule is this one. If you lose once during this competition, you will release all the ponies you captured today. The 3 fillies, the orange farmer, cyan Pegasus, white unicorn, student Celestia, and yellow Pegasus. Are we clear?
You make this so simple. Very well. I lose once. I release those fallen losers from my gallery. What's there to lose? Alright, I never lose. Spike seethed as he turned and faced Mare-Do-Well, a whisper in her ear. Spike and Pinkie, wipe that grin off her face. Twilight and the others are counting on you. The costumed pink pony merely nodded once. With a tap of her forehoof, Game Master teleported from her perch above and was back on the ground. So, let's begin this feeble tournament of yours. Choose your first game, my dear. After closing her eyes to think, the heroine finally tapped her answer.
Our first game is a test of reflexes. We'll play jump rope.
Jump rope, eh? You should have thought it out more carefully. Game Master sneered. Very well, let's begin. Using her magic, Game Master conjured up what looked like to be a faint, shadowy creatures in the shape of young school fillies. Upon closer inspection, Mare-Do-Well was aghast to see the outline of a familiar red bow of apple bloom in one of the shaves, and in the curved front mane style and tiny wings of Scootaloo in the other. The two shadowy doppelgangers had no eyes or mouths with which to see or speak. They only had their shapes. What they did, however, was a long strand of what appeared to be a rope between what normally would be the location of their mouths and teeth. I'll have you know, this is the game I beat that pastel pink and purple maned unicorn yesterday. I figured I'd have our friends swing the rope for us as well. The gamer pony gloated. The vigilante really remained silent. She wasn't about to lose, considering how better her alter ego was at jumping rope. The two competitors walked up to the rope, held by the shade of Phillies, and ready to jump. On cue, Apple Bloom and Scootaloo's shadow clones began to swing the rope around. The game was on. Spike kept time as he watched in amazement over both how Mare-Do-Well and Game Master were able to jump the rope so many times. At first, the swings were slow, next becoming faster, then alternating between both speeds until finally the two fake cutie marker stairs began to walk up and down, changing the angle from which the rope was safe to jump and trip them. The challengers just kept jumping without a break, even as they moved their legs to keep up with the alternating center angle for successful jumps. You know, people, the more I read this, the more I actually want this to be an episode with Pinkie Pie. Game Master was getting more and more annoyed. The little fillies he beat at this game didn't even last 50 jumps due to getting exhausted quickly. And now this strange mare was already topping 200 jumps. She had to stop her, and she knew the only way how. With slight intention, the golden unicorn moved forward just as the rope passed and shoved Mare-Do-Well slightly, as the jump rope was coming back in rapid swing. Vigilante was startled by this sudden change, since he was so comfortably in an area he could both jump with ease and was not ready for the next swing. She was tripped up and landed hard on the floor. 50 bells began to ring as the two sows and rope fast while the cocky Game Master reveled in victory. You cheated! You pushed Mare-Do-Well before the next swing! Spike snapped at her. The pony merely snorted a blast of hot air in disdain. I was trying to keep up the pace of the swing as the rope swingers were moving forward. It's not my fault the Super Zero couldn't keep up. How abysmal. An angry scowl from Mare-Do-Well said otherwise. She had never lost a game of jump rope in her life. And now it was personal. Let's get on with this display of my superior abilities. Choose the next game. Ne'er-Do-Well. Game Master yawned, the boredom as he marveled with one of her front hosts. Their heroine was seething, but kept her cool as she looked up the cocky unicorn and began to horse code with her hosts.
The next game will last 10 minutes. Young Spike will keep count.
10 minutes. Very well. What shabby game have you chosen, then?
First, make a recreation of Painterlike Castle. Make it as realistic as possible. Dorm room, library, gardens, and everything else.
With a shrug, Game Master's horn lit up. In just a few seconds, the area around them came to life, with various objects popping up the landscape. There, in the dark, the neon-lit realm of the Game Master, was the majestic castle of the princesses in full glory. As he didn't know any better, she said that this was the actual one brought from Canterlot itself. The good pony began to understand what was going on, as a smile formed her lips. Let me guess. Hide and seek? What a joke. You obviously have no chance to win. Mare-Do-Well responded by shaking her head, causing the unicorn to wrinkle her brow. Raising the tip of a hoof, the vigilante softly touched the tip of the befuddled unicorn's snout. She then began to stomp out Horse code. As soon as she finished the message, she took off towards the conjured-up castle. Ingrid Garamaster turned to face Spike. So, what did she say? The dragon chuckled as he gave her a toothy grin and cleared his throat. Ahem!
Tank! You're it.
The golden pony gasped as he realized what the masked pony did. Growling softly, as he made her way into the building to find Mare-Do-Well and make her it before the 10 minutes were up. As the 10 minutes ticked down, Mare-Do-Well tried to maintain her focus despite her alter ego enjoying the game. In fact, she couldn't help but playfully bounce as he went from one place to another, as he stayed one step ahead of the furious unicorn. Game Master, however, was at the end of her rope. She never faced an opponent as bizarre and unpredictable as her. Just when she thought she managed to catch her, they both rounded the corner of the gardens, The unicorn was confused to see her gone, only to see her competitor scramble up a stairwell leading to one of the towers. Game Master growled loudly at this, and took chase again. Spike couldn't help but chuckle happily as 2 minutes remained. Her patience was running short. Game Master suddenly realized that she was going to cast Mare-Do-Well. Well then, Mare-Do-Well had to come to her instead. A slight grin, her heart began to glow as she finally vanished. Vigilante enjoyed this game far too much since he realized, and thanked her unique powers for helping her evade Game Master as well as she was doing. Once she would be free of them, her halter herself would throw a huge welcome back party for all of them. Then, she remembered all the other unfortunate souls still kept in the villain's grasp. So he had to figure out a way to keep playing this against her, and went back there free and to finish her off for good. It was the right and just thing to do. However, she was too preoccupied on thinking on how to save the other ponies that she failed to heed a sudden combo running through her body. Without warning, she collided against something hard that was mysteriously in her way. Mare-Do-Well looked up and saw nothing. Just what did she hit? The answer soon came as a puff of smoke appeared, and Game Master stood frightfully in front of her. Oh my, you really should have watched the road ahead, my dear Mare-Do-Nothing-Well, the cocky pony said, as she pressed her hoof onto the rival's snout. Tag, now you're it. She then let out a whoop of laughter as she took off in the opposite direction. Mare-Do-Well quickly got back on her hooves and galloped off in pursuit. Only 30 seconds remained, and Mare-Do-Well was it. She had to find her opponent and touch her. She approached the edge of a small parapet, and peered down to see Game Master stand there, tapping her hoof impatiently. Within her mask, Pinkie Pie grinned as she readied herself, and jumped down to land on her foe. With merely touching her, she would pass the stats to her and win for sure. There was no way to miss. Nevertheless, the tuxedo-clad unicorn looked up and smirked at her. Her horns started to glow, and in seconds they disappeared. Mare-Do-Well's eyes opened wide in shock as she landed on a bush that quickly softened her fall. Game Master appeared out of nowhere and shook her head. You're quite the clumsy pony, my dear. Time for you to hang up your mask and cape. And speaking of time, a buzzer sounded to signal the end of the game of tag. You're still it, and that means I win. The masked pony got up and scowled at her. She stomped her feet hard. Small Drake caught up with the two and quickly translated for them.
You cheated! How could you use magic to make yourself fast? That's breaking the rules of tag!
Shaking her head in arrogance, the gold pony replied, Where in the rules you set out for this game did you say no magic was permitted? You said 5 minutes. I merely used my innate unicorn abilities to prevent myself from being it again. Be more specific next time, simpleton. She blew on her hoof, followed by rubbing against her tuxedo jacket. Now, do you wish to give up now and become a lovely part of my collection, or keep going and show how feeble you are in my games? Mare-Do-Well looked down at her companion, and the striking child stared at her with hope. That was more than enough to keep going. She tapped her hoof once more.
Leave the castle where it is. We'll now play hide and seek. We count to 20 and then start searching. Whoever finds the other in the fastest time possible wins. You're not allowed to use your magic to teleport or hide elsewhere if I'm too close to finding you. Is that clear?
Unicorn sighed in disdain. And I shall add another. Allow me. She materialized the blindfold and placed it over Spike's eyes. What the? Hey! Why did you do this? He demanded as he dropped his quill and scroll and tried to remove the blindfold, only to find it stuck tightly over his head. Simple, reptile. Don't go help your Super Zero out by telling her the direction I take. You'll be able to see once the game is done. Restoring Spike's growls of anger, she turned back to face her masked adversary. Now that that's out of the way, loser starts first. Go ahead, dearie. Count to 20. I assure you, you'll never find me. Mare-Do-Well did as she was told and turned around, closed her eyes, and counted 20. When she was done, she did another turn and galloped off. Spike stayed put where he was, arms crossed and mildly angry with the blindfold around his eyes. As she stood in front of the main castle foyer, she eyed all the doorways and hallways leading to the various areas of the structure. No pony would be able to find any pony else in such a vast area of record time. Then again, any pony was not Mare-Do-Well. She closed her eyes and allowed her power to come forth. A second later, her eyes shot open as she galloped towards one of the towers and opened the door. She was inside the observatory within Canterlot Castle, with an enormous telescope taking up most of the space in the room. Various books on stars and meteor showers Princess Luna herself set out to create were placed in several shelves on the walls, and an array of instruments and measurements, including worn-out abacus, was placed on the table next to the telescopes. Various maps, personally written by Luna herself, was placed on the surface of the walls, not covered by bookcases. Her sense began to tingle. She was inside this room, and her eyes landed on a particular map. She approached the old faded parchment and could see one end spread slightly, just recently. Grabbing it, she tore the map clean off the wall to reveal a small hiding place, hewn into the stone of the wall, and huddled inside, an incredulous game master stared back at her. You! How could you find me so easily? Pony figures. How many seconds was that? The unicorn seethed angrily as he got out of her hiding spot. Her adversary tapped the floor 12 times in response. 12 seconds? She gasped, only to quickly regain her composure by coughing and fixing her glasses. I mean, I could beat that easily. Okay, that's my turn to count to 20. Start hiding, and I'll find you before too long. Count on that! Mare-Do-Well turned around and sprinted off the moment she heard Game Master count. 1. She knew just the place to go, and hoped Game Master made an accurate copy of her best hiding place. As soon as she reached the front of the maze in the royal gardens, she zoomed through the twisting, turning passages until she reached the center of the labyrinth where the statue of Discord was now placed. She timed herself at 15 seconds on the dot. Game Master made the maze just as she said and was glad. The tired pony sat on her haunches and placed her hand on the ground, but refrained removing the mask as she stared at the statue of the spirit of the chaos, now with a shocked expression, forever frozen on its stone form. Princess Celestia herself made personally sure that the statue would be far away from anyone quarreling or fighting in its presence, and the center of the confounding maze was the best place. Still, Pinkie Pie herself liked coming to visit the old Draconica statue and having a picnic all by herself at his feet whenever she had the chance to visit Canterlot. She did this because, despite him turning her and her friends into cool mockeries of themselves, she really enjoyed the chocolate rain clouds while they lasted. There was no way Game Master would find her deep within the labyrinth. She was 4 seconds away from the 12 seconds she wasted finding her before. Her friends would be for sure. That was, however, until she felt something tap on the back of her neck. She turned around, eyes open wide in shock, seeing the grinning face of the Game Master staring back at her. 10 seconds flat. I win, dearie. Just that like that. A cloud of gold smoke formed around them. In seconds they were back in front of Spike, who was blindfolded, masked and vanished, as did the entire recreation of Canterlot Castle. Mare-Do-Well, however, was dumbstruck. How could anyone actually go through the maze in less than 10 seconds while making sure the unicorn didn't use magic? How did she ever find her? She began to stomp the floor in fury, as the baby dragon quickly grabbed the quill and scroll beneath him and translated. You cheated! Only I could go through that maze in record time without cheating. You used your magic, admit it! Shaking her head, the gold pony replied. You said I had to count to 20, dearie. You never said I had to turn around and stay still. All I did was follow you once you turned around and went into the maze taking each turn you did. Next time, specify where you have to stay where you are while counting. Even though she couldn't do so, Spike growled for the both of them. This is crazy! You cheat at every single thing! You're not a champion! You're a phony! Cheat? I merely stretch the rules within the boundaries, Scaly. Not my fault since my competitors don't specify what things can or can't be done. She jeered with a quick raspberry out. I'm getting bored now. How about one last game? I win it, and you'll be my newest piece of my collection. Make it fast. I got a place just for you. The vigilante thought for a while. Obviously, she enjoyed cheating at the expense of bending the rules. This made choosing a good game difficult, considering how Game Master acts. After a few minutes of pacing around, she finally stopped at an idea came into her mind. It's time for the pompous unicorn to learn how bending the rules will work against her. She tapped her hope to speak.
Let's see how you like being the mercy of someone else for our teens. We'll play a red flag, green flag. My dragon friend will be the one holding the flags.
Me? Hold flags? Spike was puzzled as he finished writing. That was when the scroll and quill in his hands, replaced by a small red flag and green flag respectively. So, what do I do? Game Master mumbled some words under her breath, but finally explained. The rules are so simple, Skeely. Either the masked moron or I have to reach you and touch you to win. However, we move in accordance to which flag you raise. Raise the green flag, we move. Red one, and we have to be still. If no flag is raised, we can't do anything until you lift one up. If anyone moves while the red flag is raised, or the green flag isn't, she loses and the other wins by default. These instructions are simple enough for you to understand, lizard. Don't call me that! My name is Spike! He snapped back as the two of them walked towards the starting line and materialized out of nowhere. When both participants were ready, young Drake called out, "Are you ready? Get set, go!" He looked at the red flag first, hoping to catch the blowhard unicorn by surprise. But she didn't budge an inch, and neither did Mare-Do-Well. He shrugged as he raised the green flag, only for both to gallop straight out, jumping in a fluster, quickly raised the red flag, and both froze in place mid-gallop. Spike looked at the green flag at his side, and the red one lifted up high, and let out a gasp of wonder. That gasp, however, led to a giggle of mischief, and a wiggle of his eyebrows, as he realized he had a way to tilt his scales in favor of Mare-Do-Well, which was just what the vigilante wanted from the start. From that moment, young dragon began to form different patterns in hope that he could trip Game Master up, or take advantage of Mare-Do-Well's alter ego's sense. Sometimes he lifted both flags at once, only to lower one, forcing the two to both move or remain frozen. Other times he lifted a green flag, only to raise the red one to give them a second to stop, raise the green one for them to move. His patterns became erratic and unpredictable. The vigilante's secret identity couldn't help but be impressed. She would definitely ask Spike out as the wave wagger for a grand tournament of red flag, green flag, when she frees her friends, and she will free them. Game Master, however, was impatient. She cursed herself for allowing the vigilante pony to choose the whatever flag waver. She couldn't keep up with all his crazy patterns. It didn't help matters that the second she was close to him, he raised the red flag, was forced her to stop movements, only for him to move farther away. She never felt as livid as she was right now. Walking towards her, Spike stood in front of Game Master, looked down at him in contempt, but didn't move an inch. Unless the green flag was raised, he couldn't touch him and win. Having him right in front of her nose was an insult to her prowess. You know what? I don't like the way you've been calling me names and insulted me ever since I came here with Twilight. Why? You don't like dragons. Why is that? He mused matter-of-factly. Unicorn didn't dare talk on account that she could only move when the green flag was up. Is it because of our eyes? He then looked up at her with his green reptilian-slit eyes. It seemed to unnerve her as a small bead of sweat formed beneath her, in front of her horn. Or maybe our tongues? He stuck out his slick tongue and softly tickled the bottom of her chin. Game Master didn't move. The second she laughed, she was done for. She did her best not to move. Or perhaps it's because we breathe fire? He then blew out a tiny flicker of green flame, which quickly vanished, making a small plume of black smoke. The foul vapor billowed out of the drake's mouth and quickly entered Game Master's nostrils. Her eyes began to water, and to taste gnats within her closed mouth. She really hated dragon fire and its smoke. She couldn't hold it in for any longer. She let out a loud, luscious sneeze. That was the second Spike raised the red flag again, and the buzzer sounded. You moved when the red flag was raised. Mare-Do-Well wins, Spike announced triumphantly while cheering. Game Master screamed out, What? I lost? No, that's impossible! I couldn't lose. I am the champion of games. That was a mistake. It has to be! Mare-Do-Well stood in front of her, tapped her host in victory. It was no mistake. Now fulfill your end of the bargain. Release those ponies this instant. Spike couldn't help but announce those words with glee. Couldn't wait to hug his friends once more. Game Master, however, looked down as she shook her head slowly. No, this is not over. I am still the champion of this realm. I will never admit defeat. She then looked at her, with her glasses shimmering in unnatural light. We will play one last game. All or nothing. I myself will choose it. If you can beat me at this, then I'll release those ponies. How about it? Do you agree? Spike stamped his foot on the ground. Mare-Do-Well will not accept it. You lost fair and square. Now release Twilight and the others, or else he will make you suffer. The masked heroine, however, was ready for this turn of events. Calmly stabbed her host. Spike calmed down as he translated what she said. As he finished writing, he gasped and smiled. Well, what does he say, lizard spawn? Game Master demanded. Spike grinned up and read the words.
If this is all for nothing, I demand a stronger price for winning. Instead of just the ponies you captured today, you'll now release every single soul you've trapped in your prison. I mean every single pony, period. Do you agree to my condition?
What? Give up all my gallery of losers? Game Master recoiled as her glasses took off in shock, only for her to grab them out of the air and slip back on. You are out of your little body mind if I'm going to put up my entire collection on the line. Mare-Do-Well merely lowered her head and tapped her head forward as she arched her brow and tapped again. Spike smirked as he read what she said.
How shameful! I considered you a worthy competitor, but all you are is a scared little filly who is as yellow as her coat. You are so a champion of the games. You have nothing to fear in risking that so-called gallery of yours. Go ahead. I dare you.
The angry snarl coming from Game Master was heard throughout her entire realm as he stormed up in front of Mare-Do-Well and pressed her snout against hers. Oh, you are so on, sister! I will place my collection as collateral as you demand, but mark my words, making you part of my gallery will not even begin to fathom the torture I got planned in store for you for mocking me. She seethed. She then looked down at Spike and added, I'll also take that little beast as well. I got several plans for it, as I hate dragons, and will make it suffer as much as you. Spike felt a bit unnerved by that remark, but his ally stood firm. Mare-Do-Well carried the snout press with an even stronger one that managed to back the conceited unicorn a bit. Her eyes lowered in defiance. Enough out of the chatter. Time for you to lose. The pacing unicorn groused as he stepped back and used her magic. In front of them, a small table occurred. Rather unassuming, the table had a large, smiling face of Game Master right in front of the center of it. Using her horn, the source losing pony lifted the top hat in the air, softly began to stir, split into two more hats as they landed on the table. Let's see how good your eyesight can be, she declared with hatred as a small gold ball materialized in front of the hats. With a glow of yellow magic, one of the hats lifted up, and the ball rolled to the spot below the hat. As it landed back on the table, in a flurry of magic, the hats began to shovel across the table with blinding speed. Spike lost sight of the hat with the ball beneath them in 1 second. Only Mare-Do-Well stared down with unblinking, cloth-covered eyes at the flurry of hats moving on the table. Just before she could finally blink, the hats stopped moving and lined up in a row. Choose the hat that the ball is under. Find the correct hat, and I'll release my collection. Lose, and you and that despicable reptile are mine to punish for all eternity. She whispered in a tone of pure malice. Mare-Do-Well frowned. She was walking right into the trap. She could tell Game Master was a sore loser, and it makes sure whatever hat she picked will end up empty. Even if she ended up picking the hat that ball would be under, she could make it vanish, appear in another hat just to spite her. She tapped a hoof on the table as Spike translated.
I pick one hat, and that hat will be my choice in the end. Am I right?
Yes. Once you select a chat, it will be your final choice. Any others will be invalid, she replied with evil relish. That was what she wanted to hear. She tapped the hoof again for Spike to write down the code. As soon as he did, his eyes opened wide in surprise once more. Game Master didn't like that. Whatever happened, it was to be trouble for her. But there was nothing her opponent could do. One selection, just any selection, and she would basically make the ball appear in another hat, and she would keep her title. No way she could lose now. Spike approached the table as he set the quill and scrolled down. Mare-Do-Well quickly sprang her strategy. She moved aside and placed her hoof above the leftmost hat. The overly confident unicorn cried madly.
So, you selected the left hat? Good. Let's see if you're right. Hey! Game Master was cut short. She saw the dragon child grab the middle and right hand off the table. Snapped back. There is no rule about saying how the other choices can't be removed, and there are no balls underneath these hats. How about showing the ball under Mare-Do-Well's choice and showing she's right? Spike sneered with glee. This, the gold pony was at a loss for words. Her lips began to quiver, and her eyes, even they could be seen behind her glasses, lost all their shimmer. Pounding the vigilante's hoof on the table, as he pointed the left hat, brought her back to reality. She lit up her horn, and face remained the epitome of glue, as the hat lifted up and revealed a gold ball. Just like that, loud trumpets began to blare, and bells began to ring to announce the new victor. Spike threw the hats in the way, and began to whoop with success. Mare-Do-Well stood up straight, as she stared down in defiance towards the ever-shrinking former champion of games. No, the unicorn said softly. No, 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 no! She finally screamed as her entire realm began to shake with the force of her yell. Spike ran up to the triumphant vigilante and hugged her as she stared at her fallen foe. Spike finally stopped as he stomped towards the shell-shocked game master and demanded, You lost! Release them! Release them all! That was the agreement! The unicorn huddled down on her hooves. A cape magically covered up her form. The dragon lost all his patience and grabbed the cape only to see she vanished under the glitter like cloth. Then the cape itself disappeared in a puff of smoke. But no! She has to release him! It was the agreement! He protested as he ran towards Mare-Do-Well and stared down, staring at him with staring eyes. That was when the realm began to shake. It started even more so than before. Spike huddled close to his friend, wondering what was about to happen. Neon signs began to fall and shatter on the floor as the dice card suit tiles started to crack, disintegrate in the ensuing earthquake. Game Master's realm was falling apart right in front of them. With no magic power between the two of them, it was only a matter of time before they would be destroyed by the realm's incoming destruction. Then, something started to appear in front of them. It was the wall where all the trapped pony soul figurines were placed. One particular statuette began to start to glow faintly, only to finally radiate in full splendor. So another figurine began to shine, followed close by another once, until finally every last one was glowing with the intensity of Celestia's sun. As they radiated, they became levitated out of their holes in the wall, and straight across the room, the forthcoming annihilation of the magic plane. Eventually, all the small spears of light vanished out of sight, but 8 of them stayed flying towards the heads of the duo, until united in one enormous ball of magic light, landed on the floor with a flash that caused the dragon and magic pony to shield their eyes. When the flash dissipated, the two looked to spot the light was, as surprised to see Twilight Sparkle, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Apple Bloom, Sleepy and Skidoo standing there looking a bit disoriented. Spike couldn't hold it any longer, ran to the purple unicorn, and threw herself in a long hug. Twilight! Oh, Twilight, thanks Celestia, you're back to normal. I'm so worried about you and the others. Cut the chit-chat, little guy. We've got more problems to worry about now, Applejack said as she regained her bearing.
Sorry, I'm scared. Oh, there.
The little Earth Filly trembled as she held her close to her sister, as the sleep bells rarity is glued to her idol. Nuts! This sword lizard left us here to push up daisies. I'm not in the mood to chow down right now. Rainbow Dash grumbled as the devotee stayed close by her side. Twilight nodded as she closed her eyes, grated her teeth, challenging all her energy in her horn. Then it began to glow with an even greater intensity than the last one seen when she faced an Ursa Minor a year ago. Everyone, get close to me! I'm going to attempt something I've never tried before, but anything's better than staying here as it goes down, she commanded, as every pony in the small group, along with Spike, huddled as close as possible to her. Z-Man's opened an eye as he saw Mare-Do-Well stand before her. Come on! Hurry! I don't have much power left. The vigilante nodded as he jumped up in the air, was about to land on the pony pile. The second the teleport spell was cast, and they vanished in a flash. A second before the realm was about to disintegrate. When they reappeared, they were all bowled over in the impact of the Mare-Do-Well, crashing down on them. Oh, hey, did we make it? Rainbow Dash managed to utter out. Twilight shook her head a few times as she realized their breaks and rances. Yes, we're all back, all thanks to Mare-Do-Well.
You're back!
A shrill streak of joy broke the silence as a familiar pink pony burst out from the basement door. Pinkie Pie bounded up to the entire group and hugged them all tightly.
Oh, I was so very worried about you all. I came here a while ago from the hospital where Mrs. Cake is right now, but no pony was around. I went to Care Shop Boutiques, Sweet Apple Inkers, Fresh Ice Cards, and so to Dazzy's home, but no pony answered. I talked to every pony, and they all said you vanished. I got so very, very sad. I thought no one wanted to be my friend anymore, but I said so to those cuckoos. I mean, cuckoos can't be jumped. I can jump stones and buses and small walls because I'm good at jumping. Also good at laughing, eating. It's so tasty. Mrs. Cake always laughing to sample the newest baked goods he makes. Like this morning,
The 5 ponies and Spike allowed her to ramble on, since the Cutie Mark Crusaders were there, and they didn't want to accidentally reveal her secret. However, they wondered how she was able to quickly get out of her costume, get back up to meet them all again in the span of 5 seconds after she crashed on them. And again, they chalked it up to Pinkie Pie just being Pinkie Pie. Eventually they managed to get back to the main subject of them finally being back, gave them all a big hug again. The clock didn't chime too, realized time flew much slower in the real world than the amount of time they all spent at Game Master's domain. That was when the Kmart Crusaders and Spike all started getting drowsy, and sleep was finally able to hit them. Saying their goodbyes, the 4 ponies with the 3 fillies left the library and headed back to their respective homes. Only Twilight and Pinkie stayed behind. Twilight lifted Spike up with her magenta aura as he took him to his basket to sleep. As he neared the top of the stairs, the purple unicorn turned around and looked at her pink pony roommate at the foot of the steps. Pinkie Pie, thank you. You not only saved us, but also you saved every other pony Game Master had imprisoned in the realm. Somewhere out there are many happy families who are overjoyed to see their loved ones come back. You did really good. She stated with a warm smile. The pink filly beamed from ear to ear.
thanks, Eagles, Twilight. I admitted that Big Maid really cheated, but I beat her at her own rule-bending game.
She giggled with a snort. A condensed sigh later, she finally spoke a bit more seriously.
I would have done anything to save not just you, but all those poor ponies trapped there. I was going to play against her forever to release them all, even if it ended up costing my freedom. I think Celestia had never happened. I managed to free every pony in that last challenge. I would have given anything to be everywhere and see the smiles of those families when the free ponies return to the home. The thought itself is my only reward.
Twilight quickly placed Spike on his bed and walked down the stairs where Pinkie Pie stood. Mare-Do-Well is a heroine to all. I'm sure you received those rescue will tell every pony that. Soon your name will be known throughout Equestria instead of just here in Ponyville. That's why we'll always be proud of both Mare-Do-Well and you, Pinkamena. The unicorn disciple replied, as she placed her head over her friend's back and nuzzled with a hug. Pinkie Pie shed a tear as she realized her friend was right. Soon every pony will know about her, as she became a hero not just in Ponyville, but to all of Equestria now. A challenge she was willing to take. Deep down in her mind, she knew this was the start of something big. But where it would take her she didn't know, and she didn't care. She would take this task as everything else in her life, with a smile. Under the blanket of a starry night, with a full moon hanging over her head, a lone figure stood at the ends of a lonely mountain overlooking Ponyville. She stared with rage at the sleeping town below. Mare-Do-Well, you are a cheater. I lost my gallery, my world, and my reputation. Mark my words, I will make it the goal of my existence to see you cower and defeated my hooves. Very soon, you will see that I truly am the Game Master. The Legend of Mare-Do-Well trots along.